of the things that made that coach influential in your life? Throw out a quality. Supportive. Say again? Supportive. They were supportive of you. What else? They were leadership. They respected you more. Positive reinforcement. They invested time. They took their time to take care of you. Great. What are some other things? They were disciplined, right? How many of those people that we're talking about were really tough on you? Yeah. Sometimes, right? Sometimes the coaches that are most influential were the ones that were a little bit tough on us, and maybe we didn't like them so much at that time, right? And that's okay too, if it's mixed with some of those other things that we just talked about, the positive reinforcement, the respect. John Robinson, when he was the coach at USC, had a great quote. He said, "I never criticize a player until they're first convinced of my unconditional confidence in his ability." Right? So how much work do you as a coach have to put in to get a kid to recognize that you have confidence in him, you believe in him, and the reason that you're pushing him is because you want him to get better? Right? That's what we're talking about. Right? That's the time that you got to invest to make that happen. And so those are the qualities that were influential. I want you to have those qualities too. Right? You're going to be remembered one way or the other. Right? You want to be that guy that's remembered for the good things. This past Christmas, I ran into a coach that was my Cold League baseball coach when I was 16, 17. And I hadn't seen him since then. And I'm walking down the aisle, and I saw my coach on the other side of the store, and I started to walk towards him, and as I made eye contact and I was headed towards him, I realized, what am I going to say? I hadn't seen this guy for so long, and then I realized what I was like when I was 16 and 17. I wasn't sure how he felt about me, right? But I was prompted to have this conversation anyway, and we had a great conversation about coaching and what I was doing in my life, and you could sense that he was a little proud, right? That somebody that he coached cared enough to become a coach too, and so we had that moment, and at that moment I realized that he was the first real coach that I had. Right? Prior to that, I had Coach Dad. Right? Talk about that. I had Coach Dad. Right? The guy that, put in his time, made sure that we all had fun, didn't really push us, wasn't really demanding, but made sure that I loved it enough so that I stuck around to catch a guy like him. Right? Because if you don't, you scare those kids off, and we're in worse trouble. So, I realized he pushed me. Right? And he was organized, and he put in the time, and all of those things you talked about. Now, there are a bunch of coaches that I had that I would have kept walking. And I wouldn't have gone down that aisle. And I would have walked out of the store and waited until they were gone. Right? I want you all to be that coach that people want to come and talk to.